Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dave Russell. Well, based in part on some of the developments of 2024, what might be some of the questions regarding U.S. farm and food trade in the new year?
Regarding the U.S. agricultural trade balance in 2024,
our expectation is for a record trade deficit
due to several factors, according to USDA Chief Economist Seth Meyer, such as a strong U.S. dollar overseas, increased global competition for primary U.S. farm commodities, and
with that strong dollar, U.S. consumers continue to import products to diversify their diets as well, too.
The chief economist also notes some of the global market challenges for our nation's food and farm exports going into 2025.
Policy being one of them, things that we always talk about, size of the South American crop, but other things as well. We've still got an active conflict in the Black Sea, other geopolitical tensions, all of which could affect the market in the coming year.
A first indication of competition developing in the new year comes from January's World Agricultural Supply and Demand Estimate and production estimates from corn and beans in Argentina and Brazil. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
The Energy Information Administration says ethanol production averaged 1.11 million barrels a day during the week ending December 27th. That was the fourth consecutive week-over-week increase. In the Midwest, production rose to an average of 1.055 million barrels a day. Ethanol inventories increased to 23.639 million barrels. That's the highest level of ethanol stocks since September. The American Land Board's 2025 program includes workshops and summits aimed at equipping sheep producers with the necessary tools and resources to profitably grow their operations. They're encouraging producers to begin planning their year by discovering more about several upcoming opportunities, including 6 targeted grazing workshops. The rapid development of utility-scale solar farms across the country has stimulated a significant need for sheep grazing as a means of vegetation management. Well, what are some of the notable numbers in the final U.S. drought monitor?
The last U.S. drought monitor covering 2024 indicated
some improvement in the overall drought situation during the month of December.
USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey says for the drought monitor for the period ending December 31st,
drought coverage across the lower 48 states, just a shade over 38% of the country at the end of 2024. That is down from almost 44% at the beginning of December, and that's also down from our autumn peak and also our 2024 peak of just over 54% of the country back on October 29th.
And over 5.5% decrease in overall drought coverage month over month, and 60% decrease since the October peak. Drier conditions in the Southwest were offset by drought reductions and eradications in much of the eastern U.S. Rippey adds 17 states reported extreme and/or exceptional drought to end the year. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
The NCTA, or Rural Broadband Association, released its 2024 Broadband Internet Availability Survey report. The group says it capped off a year in which NCTA members made remarkable strides in delivering on the promise of robust and reliable high-speed connectivity in the most rural parts of the U.S. Despite operating in rural areas where the average density is less than 7 locations per mile, more than 76% of customers on average have access to gigabyte downstream speeds, an increase from 67% in 2023. The markets, they're next.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section and after Dad's back injury. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But did you know holding on to unused opioids puts your family at risk? Trouble with opioids can start at home with unused medicines such as pills, patches, and syrups. You can remove the risk and protect your family. Find out how at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Nearly 90% of farmers say that financial worries, constantly changing market conditions, and other uncontrollable variables take a toll on their mental well-being. Add in the weather and family dynamics, well, it's a lot to handle alone. But did you know farmers and their families can receive free confidential services from licensed professionals? Support is available 24/7 to help with the challenges you face. Look for Farm Family Wellness Alliance under the Resources tab at farmfoundation.org. Take care of yourself. Your well-being matters.
The market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. At the Board of Trade, March corn 457 3/4 up 7. May corn 465 1/4 up 7. January beans 992 1/2 up 11 1/2. March beans 997 3/4 up 6. July wheat $5.61 up 11 3/4. At the Mercantile Exchange, February cattle 195.20 up $1.15. February hogs 79.65 down $1.12. March feeder cattle, $265.55, up $1.37. This is the Ohio AgNet.